The organ at St Mary and St Giles has a fascinating history, stretching back over 130 years. It's a history of great technical skill, and a theft, a fire, and a lot of dry rot. The organ started life in 1882 in St George's Parish Church in Edinburgh. It was built by the famous Victorian organ builder Henry Willis. Later in his life he came to be called Father Willis as a sign of respect, and because there were 3 other Henry Willises after him. When he built our organ, Father Willis was already famous. He'd created the organs at St Paul's in London and Salisbury Cathedral, as well as many others. He was a great innovator, constantly pushing the boundaries of British organ building, adapting and improving both the actions and the sounds to produce church and concert organs of very high quality. Like most important musical instruments, church organs have got to be repaired quite regularly. The leather in the bellows wears out and tears, pipes get clogged with dust and grime. It goes out of tune, and over time musical tastes and technology change. So Father Willis's successors, Willis II and Willis III, updated and enlarged the organ in Edinburgh, adding electrical circuits, another manual and many more pipes. Willis III even left space for pipes that he hoped would one day get added. But in the early 1960s, disaster struck. St George's Church itself was found to be full of dry rot. The organ was becoming far too expensive to repair, and the congregation at St George's decided to merge with St Andrew's Church nearby, which wasn't big enough to house the Willis instrument. And then another disaster. In 1962, over 500 metal pipes were stolen from St George's after the church had been closed. So sadly they decided to sell it to an English organ builder, Dr. Ingram of Starmer Shaw. Meanwhile, in Stony Stratford, the original Church of St Giles had had its share of disasters too. Late at night on Boxing Day 1964, a fire broke out behind the pulpit, which destroyed a beautiful stained glass window and the entire old church organ. June Haynes was present at the time.
I was visiting my mother in her shop, the gift shop opposite the church, in Church Street actually, and we saw flickering that was in fact not lights as we thought going wrong, but flames, and my mother called the fire brigade, and then we had to evacuate and all assemble on the market square. A bit later on, when we were able to go in the church, the local people all pulled together and we helped clean it up with whatever things we could lay our hands on, really. My job was the pulpit, and it was jolly hard work.
By 1967, St Giles Church had been rebuilt and the parish was being merged with the neighbouring St Mary's, Stony Stratford. That's when the parochial church council was advised by Father Hutchings and Derek Savage, the organist, to buy the Willis organ and install it in the newly rededicated St Mary and St Giles Church. When the organ was installed, the stolen pipes were mostly replaced, and over the next 40 years some repairs were carried out. But by 2004 it was clear that the leather was wearing out and some parts had broken. It was in need of expensive repair to get it back to decent playing condition for services and for concerts. Anna Page led the team of volunteers and fundraisers to get the thousands of pounds needed to repair such an important organ.
Well, we needed to restore the Willis Pipe Organ because it had become very unreliable. Even though it had been maintained over the years, it wasn't playing very well. And so we started to do some fundraising, and after a period of time we were able to have the console restored in 2011, and then in 2014 we were very lucky to be given a substantial grant by the Heritage Lottery Fund, which has allowed us to restore the organ and to do some historical research and various other activities, and now we're delighted to be able to come and share the organ with you so you can hear it play once again.